LeBron was great. Luka was great. But, it's funny. When I've been in California for 8-9 years, and I really like Los Angeles. And, one of the things I've really learned is you have to be aggressive as a team. The Clippers have become stagnant. Even with a new arena, nobody talks about them. The market's too big. There's too many things going on. The beach, the mountains, the weather. I mean, people are out walking around the beach last night. It's just the way it is in Los Angeles. And, I mean, the Dodgers win the World Series, and they go spend $450 million in upgrades to their roster and $100 million in a clubhouse renovation. That's after winning a World Series. Like, that's the way it works. I mean, the Rams considered, hey, we may have to move off Matt Stafford. They moved off Goff when he got to a Super Bowl. Harbaugh to the Chargers. Lincoln Riley, they steal Oklahoma's coach. You have to swing big in this town because there's too many premieres, too many red carpets, too many things going on. And it forces organizations, especially the Lakers, to be hyper-aggressive. I mean, they took a big swing on Anthony Davis. Worked. They took a big swing on Westbrook. Didn't work. They took a big swing on J.J. Redick. Everybody criticized him. J.J. Redick, not experienced, kind of an ego. He's been absolutely fantastic. When you watch this team offensively, you can see the game preparation. And, I think it's hard in this town that you are forced. You can't be the Cincinnati Bengals and just stay in draft order and don't take a big swing. I mean, LeBron's playing out of his mind. And I do think there's a honeymoon period for a Steph or a LeBron with a new guy. You're kind of showing off. But it's just the status quo doesn't work here. And I think LeBron is completely energized now. Because if even LeBron, you can kind of lose him during the football season. You forget about him if you're not viable. And, the Clippers, a desperate organization, they build a new basketball arena, but they're still clinging to Kawhi and James Harden. And that story's over. Nobody's interested. And I'm watching the Lakers briefly last night. And it's just, they've reinvigorated the franchise, the team. And I'll say this, I have been critical of the Lakers front office before because there's been some misses, but I appreciate the effort. Like, even the way, it's funny. You remember when they got Mark Williams, the Charlotte center, in a trade? And then the next day, his doctors, the Lakers doctors said, nah, it's not going to work here. And Charlotte's like, what do you mean? He's healthy. He just played. I honestly think this happened. I think the Lakers took a big swing on it. And then, they don't have a scouting department quite as big as the Warriors. The Buss family is not as wealthy as a lot of these big owners. I think the Warriors or the Lakers did a little digging on it and they started making a few calls and a little more digging. They took a big swing and they said, well, our doctors don't like him. I don't think that's the craziest theory out there on why they made it and then suddenly why they moved off it. But I appreciated the effort. J.J. Redick, I appreciate the effort. And, again, you can make big swings that are stupid, trading away Luka for AD and 1 first-rounder and Max Christie. That's just a dumb move. But one of the things I've over and over, I've said, I love the way the Philadelphia Eagles do business. I mean, Carson Wentz was having an MVP season. Yeah, we're going with Nick Foles. And Doug Peterson wins the Super Bowl. Yeah, we're moving off him. And Chip Kelly had a winning season. It's not a good fit. And I think in Los Angeles, it's just different. The Dodgers could just rest on their laurels. Nope, they went and spent $450 million more, and they're renovating, which is, by the way, a beautiful stadium. They're going to renovate it and make it even better. And I think being an executive in Los Angeles, you have got to stay on your toes. I said it with Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers. I said, you just can't do another coordinator. You're getting lost in this. This is not San Diego, where people go to the games. Phillip Rivers wins 10 games, and that's good enough. That is not good enough here. And so the J.J. Redick swing, unbelievable. The Luka swing, unbelievable. And even the Westbrook move that didn't work. It's what L.A. forces you to do, and it's what the Lakers do. J-Mac with the news. No. He did. He kept Russell Wilson, who he didn't love. He rebuilt the O-line. Sean McVay takes over the Rams. First big move. Andrew Whitworth, all-pro left tackle Cincinnati. I mean, I know we all watch quarterbacks, but a quarterback's best friend is protection and push up front. This is a great day to be a Bear fan. I know it's not sexy. I know it's not going to lead sports shows and other networks. But the 7 highest-graded offensive lines last year all made the playoffs. Joe Burrow was arguably the best quarterback in the league last year. What was his O-line? Ranked 30th. He missed the playoffs. And last year, do you remember this? And I understand if you don't, but last year, Washington, we were all caught up in Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn and a new owner and a new GM. You remember the first thing Washington did last year before they ever gave Jaden Daniels a snap in a big game? They went and got 2 offensive linemen free agency. Right? So this is what Washington did last year. And those don't make headlines. But the last couple of days, this is what offensive coaches do. It's what McVay does, Reed does, Ben Johnson. I mean, you start looking at Philadelphia and Detroit. I mean, the Rams were really good last year. And one of the reasons they got good by about Thanksgiving, they got hot. Before that is the offensive line got healthy. So this is really encouraging. I know it's not a blaring headline, 2 interior offensive linemen. But when you have a young quarterback, time to throw, a run game, an extra half second is the difference between doing something like Washington did and, doing something like Caleb Williams had to deal with in his rookie year with a defensive coach. J-Mac spitting it today. Steph Curry last night.
Yeah, you are. On fire.
You love Steph Curry,
of course.
Too.
My favorite player of all time. It used to be Magic Johnson, right? I love the flair and the passing, and then Steph Curry overtook him. He's been my favorite probably for, over a decade.
Isn't it interesting, though? So, we kind of looked at the Warriors, and their front office deserves credit because we kind of looked at them, and it was a treadmill to nowhere.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
I was down on them.
Right. And we were waiting for Wiggins to be a 2. He's not. We were waiting for Kuminga to be a 2. He's not. When you slot it now, Steph, Butler's a 2, and now Kuminga's like, he could be a 3. Pods, he could be a 4. Draymond still doesn't score much, but it is amazing what you do. It's like a pitching staff. When you put a legitimate 2 with Steph, then the 3 and the 4 can be inconsistent, and that's why they're 3 and 4s. It's like when you give LeBron Luka offensively, now you like Rui way more because Rui goes from instead of having to be a 3 offensively, now Rui's a 4. Yeah. And offensively, Rui can be a little hit and miss. But when Rui goes from 3 to a 4, now Rui's a really good 4.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of a reach at 3. So now Kuminga, because we've been waiting for Kuminga for years.
Could be looking at a Lakers-Warriors second-round matchup that would that's the kind of game that could break the internet. Like Luka, Butler, LeBron, Curry, just an amazing collection of talent. If that happens in the second round, I'm sure the TV executives would love a Western Conference Finals with those 2, LeBron and Curry.
NBA's rigged.
Hey, by the way, Zion, did you see Zion last night?
I did not.
I mean, he was borderline unstoppable.
Well, no, he was.
Lakers still won by 30 or 40 or whatever it was, but Zion looked really good.
Yeah. I only watched the first half, then I fell asleep. Yeah, fell asleep. Yeah, I mean, the Lakers season's really going to come down to this. It really is going to come down to this. Health. Luka looks in much better shape. He looks in much better shape. And LeBron's obviously playing with a ton of energy. I think at some point, it's like your new best friend. At some point, LeBron's energy and Steph's energy will come down.
The honeymoon phase.
Yeah, I think we're in the honeymoon phase. I mean, I'm watching last night's honeymoon phase stuff. But there'll be a time when, again, you get about 20, 30 games in with a new teammate. Like the Warriors right now, it's the honeymoon phase. I mean, Steph is playing out of his mind. He's playing, let's be honest. If Jimmy Butler's not on the team, does he take last night off? If they're not playing in New York, back-to-back off Charlotte where he got hurt, it's possible Steph's like, I'm not. New York is why he played. Jimmy Butler's why he played. It's like, okay, I'm going to play this